Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tef's Tavern. It's Big Mike, and last night we had our third session of the Curse of Strahd campaign we're running. We're in the Death House, and I do believe we started off in the cultists' quarters, where unfortunately our barbarian had found himself falling down a well. Nah, we'll have to see if he ever returns, because no one knows where that leads. So each party member took a room and started rifling through these cultists' possessions, and I believe they found a silvered short sword, a silver hairbrush. Chardon, our dragonborn warrior, found a sack made of human skin that contained about 12 gold. Something to be really excited about. And Egmont took it upon himself to act less than sane once again. I believe he licked it, and we'll have to see if he survives that. I should bring back saving throws versus poison. And so they continued on after they were done pilfering through this room, and they returned to the shrine to the Dark Lord, where there's a vignette, a wooden carving of, they don't know this yet, but of Strahd, a wolf with his hand held out, holding seems to be a gray, smoky crystal orb. And our tiefling rogue, Brickman, took it upon herself to shiny, and grab the Nothic eye while the rest of the party was filtering into the room. And I decided to parse up this combat a little bit. Read as written, you're supposed to send 5 shadows against the party at once. I wasn't entirely sure they could handle them all at once. That, and it's a small room, I got a lot of players. So I gave them 3 to start with, and we rolled initiative. And Trixie, our Wood Elf Druid, she started first. And I've actually taken to doing side versus side initiative. We all roll a d20, add our initiative bonuses. Whoever wins, they get to go first. And we just rotate around the table from there. If I win, great. If they win, wonderful. Hey, we're all here to have fun, right? So, Beatrix looks through her armament and her stable of spells and lands on casting Fairy Fire, because there was 3 targets. It can hit up to 3 targets. She was thrilled, and we rolled some saving throws against it, and one of them ends up lined and wreathed in purple light. So I don't know if everyone does this or not, but I personally, when it comes to casting magic, I give my players the opportunity to describe how that looks, to pretty much, within the realm of reason, tell me what that looks like from you. So yeah, her fairy fire is simply a purple glow, and while there was one in the south corner, the northeast corner, and the northwest corner, the only one that failed his saving throw was in the northwest, who's actually right next to Ugmond, our insane warlock. And so yeah, he's now going to receive an advantage on any attack. So, meanwhile, we do have a new player, Dark Age of. You'll see his YouTube channel. He's been posting a lot here on the tavern. He's joined us. He's agreed to finally give a full fair swing to 5th edition. I mean, he's played with us once before, done a little bit on his own, and he asked me to roll him up a character. So he's a hill dwarf sorcerer. Go ahead and gave him level 2, so he'd be pretty close in with the rest of the party. And but I told him at the beginning of the evening, yeah, you don't see anything. All you can see is darkness, and you can't move your hands or legs. And just off of this room that the combat is in is a hidden passageway where you can get back up to the first floor of the Death House. And so I wasn't really sure how I was going to integrate into bringing him into the group from that. But hey, I said, hey, why not? You're shoved in that secret passageway. He doesn't know that yet, though. So the Paladin Berdrick comes to his turn finally. And he positions himself next to the shadow that's actually right next to that secret passageway, the soft spot in the wall. In the book, it's written that it's simply a or a thin sheet of clay over a regular door. And to make my life easier, he failed his attack roll, so I state that he stumbles and shifts his shoulder into that wall, breaking the clay, and a dwarf falls out, bound at his hand and his feet. And then, of course, I introduced Jason's character, and the combat continued. And I know Chardon actually, I believe, went down that turn. He'd taken some damage, and he'd actually taken some strength damage as well. He'd lost 2 points of his strength temporarily. He's not sure of that yet, but yeah, temporarily he's lost 2 points of strength. So yeah, even to the point of his attack bonus now has to be modified because he's not as strong. These shadows are nasty business. And same turn, another one emerges from the wall behind the statue of the vampire. And so the party's starting to freak out a little bit, like, oh no. So yeah, that turn comes around again to Berdrick, and Berdrick decides, okay, well, I'm going to pick up this dwarf. He's hanging onto him by the feet, and he takes his tower shield and backs into the alcove that they just broke through to the hidden passageway up the stairs. And he kind of seals himself in using his tower shield as a door. And so then he cuts, oh man, Delg was his name. The dwarf is Delg, our sorcerer. He cuts his hands and feet free, and they're just kind of holed up in that little cubby, which is fine. So then combat continues, and Agmond has decided to start using his chill touch in a creative way. He's not simply touching them, he's going to slap them. So he's chill touch slapping the shadow left and right. In fact, I believe he did it for 3 or 4 rounds, continually keeping that shadow at disadvantage, making my life a complete hell. I just can't hit anything. It's beautiful, because of course, every one of us knows, if you're going to roll at disadvantage, you're going to get a high number, and you're going to get a really low number. So yeah, I'm rolling like 18s and 3s, 20s and 5s. It's infuriating. Meanwhile, he's got advantage. Because of the fairy fire, he can continue to just connect and connect and connect. And so at that point, I believe, yes, Beatrix Trixie had decided to cast healing on Chardon to bring him back from the brink because he'd taken too much damage. So he doesn't stand, though. He remains prone, brings himself up on his elbows, and he's fighting with his rapier from there. And they eventually do take down their shadow. At the same time, a 5th one emerges. And at that point, Delg had decided that he was going to use Witch Bolt from behind Berdrick. So he's like sticking his fingers out the edge of the tower shield so that he can just get this spell off. And it's channeled. It's continual damage. I believe you can do it for 10 turns. And he's rolling a d12 each turn and just cranking some electrical damage into this shadow. And at the last turn, Berdrick decides to spend his Divine Smite and just downs this thing. If you look at Dark Age Jason's video earlier, it's definitely the first case of kill stealing in my group. And and that's actually where the 5th one emerged, right on that same spot, forgive me. So yeah, now that they've got another opportunity to do so, on the next turn, Berdrick does the same thing, spends his only other remaining spell point, and spell slot, forgive me, and downs the other one. Okay, so we've got 2 downed and 2 remaining. Agmond is still slapping one in the corner, and now Rickvin, I believe it was Rickvin, Delg, Rickvin and Delg, they squared off against the other one in the bottom right corner of the map, and they're downing it, chipping away at its health little by little. Little do they know that thing's got resistance to damn near everything, so it's only taking half damage. And Trixie then breaks after they kill the one that she was dealing with. She breaks off to help Agmond as well, and they do down all of these shadows. And everyone's feeling pretty rough at this point. Everyone's having health issues. And they start talking of taking a rest, whether it be a short or an extended, I don't know. But Rickvin decides that she's going to go check out the door in the south part of the room. And I guess we'll have to wait till the next episode to find out what happened with it. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe below. Please help spread the word about Teff's Tavern. We love your support so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.